Hello and welcome back. Today I am filming my summer beauty favourites for redheads. So these are my current summer essential must-haves. There are lots in there that are really great for redheads, and obviously all the shades and colours will also work for people who have a similar complexion to mine. So if you are interested in that, then please keep watching. Please do like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. It really would help me out and I would appreciate it so much. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a couple of tanning products. The first one I'm going to mention is the Tropez SelfTan Purity Mist for natural glowing skin. So this is the first fake tan facial mist that I've used. I've heard a lot of people talk about this one, so I just wanted to give it a try. I can fake tan my body really well and find a lot of fake tans do work for me, but one thing I do really struggle with finding is the right fake tan for my face. I normally have just a pale face and a fake tanned body because I've had issues with tans like just not looking right on my face in the past, streaking, looking not great and fading really quickly. So I wanted to try this because it just sounded so convenient and I'd heard really good reviews. I do really love how this looks on the skin. It looks really natural. It genuinely just looks like you've got a little bit of a summer bronze to your skin, like a natural glow. But I will say I do think this is breaking me out when I use it. So I do get spots on my chin when I'm breaking out because of a product, and this is very heavily fragranced. I normally try and stay away from any fragrance in my facial skincare just because I've had experiences in the past where I've used really heavily scented products and find that I just get really like cystic under the skin acne, really red, raised, painful spots basically if I'm reacting to a product, and normally it is something with heavily fragrance. So I tried this. I love how it looks on my skin. It is okay if I will use it for like one day, but if I use it a few days in a row, that's when I notice I start to get spots. So I do think it's down to this, unfortunately, but it has made me really realize that I love a face tan spray. So there are a few others on the market that I want to give a go. So if you have tried any that you really like, especially ones that haven't broken you out, please do leave them in the recommendations in the comments, because yeah, I would love to know and I'd love to try another one because I did really love how this looked on my face, and it is something that I've been using for the past few months. So I wanted to include it in this summer essentials because if you are not sensitive to things like fragrance and you can use, you know, skincare without kind of being worried about it breaking you out, then I do think this would be a really good option. What doesn't work for my skin is not the same for everyone else, so that's why I still wanted to include it in this video, because I do think it's a really good product. It's just so annoying that my skin did not get on with it. Next, in terms of body tan, I've actually gone back to an old trusted faithful. If you have been watching my videos since like 2015, 2016 era, you may have seen my fake tan tutorial and I used this in that. So this is the Tropez SelfTan Express tan in the blue bottle, not their like regular fake tan mousse. I only leave this on for 3 hours and then I wash it off before I go to bed. And I find that that is the perfect amount of time for me. However, I am obviously very fair. I know a lot of people say they have to leave this on overnight or that it doesn't go dark enough for them. So bear that in mind, but for me, 3 hours is perfect. It's just so easy to apply. I love that I can wash it off before bed so I don't have to sleep in the fake tan itself, and it still develops overnight and gets darker. I just think this is like a staple for a reason. Like, it's been around for a long time and it's tried and trusted by so many people. I see a lot of people still recommending this, so I was like, you know what, I haven't tried that in ages, and obviously I used to use it so much, so I wanted to give it another go, and yeah, really like it. I got it in this little mini size just because I don't use fake tan loads. Like, I'm not tanned at the moment, but I have been using it fairly regularly. I'm nearly at the end of this now, but I just wanted to like get it in the smaller size to start with to see if I still liked it as much as I used to like it, and I probably will repurchase this in the larger size next time. And then the last body product I wanted to mention was this fragrance. This is obviously, again, a very hyped up product. A lot of people talk about this, but this is a Sol de Janeiro Churrosa 62 fragrance mist. So this is like the original scent, the one they first came out with. I also use the body wash, and I've used the body butter as well. I just love the scent of this. It just makes me think of summer. I don't know what it is, but I think I just always go back to this in the summer months, and obviously it's kind of like a summer brand. A lot of people probably associate that brand with summer, and I'm definitely one of them. Have been using this for years. This is my second bottle of this mist. It's just the one that I always go back to. So it smells very like vanilla-y, but not too sugary sweet, because I'm not like a huge fan of really sweet scents, but it's like sweet enough. It's got a little bit of like warmth and muskiness. I think it's got like some kind of nut in there as well, pistachio, salted caramel and vanilla. So it's like sweet but warm but nutty and creamy, and it just kind of is the perfect summer fragrance in my opinion. I do kind of wish that this lasted a little bit longer and you could like smell it on yourself a little bit more, but I will smell clothes like a few days later that I've worn with this on, and they smell really strongly of this. So I do think it has good lasting power. I will just say, like, on my skin and like when I'm walking around, like I can smell it now because I've just sprayed it recently, but in a few hours I don't think I will really be able to smell it. So that's the only thing. I know they do a perfume of this, so I would be interested to try that just in case it does have like a longer scent throw. But yeah, this is definitely a summer favorite. Like I said, one I always go back to. Next, for face SPF, I've been really enjoying this Bondi Sands Daily Moisturizing Face SPF 50+. This is the fragrance free version. It's like a moisturizing fluid, I would say. Yeah, so it says sunscreen fluid. I'm gonna be really honest, the reason that I bought this was because it had decent reviews, but mainly because it was very affordable. I think this was around the £10 mark, and you get 50 milliliters in here. My other favorite SPF sunscreen, which I will be taking when I go on holiday, is the Supergoop Play sunscreen, but that one is just so glowy that it's hard to wear under makeup sometimes. So I love taking it on holiday because I never wear makeup in the day on holiday, so it's great. It gives you a really nice glow. It's so moisturizing, but I think just for wearing under makeup when I'm at home, it's a little bit tricky to work with sometimes because it is so glowy and shiny and like kind of oily on my skin. I have normal to dry skin, but this one is a really good balance. I'm wearing it under my makeup today. I do have like more glow giving products on top of it, but what I like about this is it doesn't really like add tons of glow. It definitely feels moisturizing, and it does kind of give your skin a little bit of something in terms of glow, but it's not like really intense like the Supergoop one. So really been enjoying this, been wearing it every day, been wearing it under makeup. It's worked absolutely fine. The only downside I've found to this is it has a little bit of a strong sunscreen scent, like you can smell it, but then it is fragrance free, so I'll take my wins where I can with that, because I'd rather not have fragrance in my sunscreen and be able to smell the sunscreen itself. Okay, so moving on to makeup products. The first one I'm going to speak about is the iconic London Radiance Booster. I have this in the shade Shell Glow. I mean, I've spoken about this so many times on my channel, but this is just my favorite luminizing glow giving primer. It is gonna look quite dark when you first put it onto your skin, but it doesn't have any like intense coverage, so it really does just even out to a really kind of healthy looking flesh toned moisturizer. It doesn't make you look really orange or anything like that. The main thing I love about this is the amount of radiance it gives, and that it really does just kind of like sink in with your skin and look really healthy and gorgeous. And in the summer months, I'm all about like light bases, glow giving products, and this is one that I always go back to. I've probably been using this for like 3-4 years at this point, and this is like my second or third tube of it probably. So yeah, really love this. tried and trusted. Couldn't recommend highly enough. And then another one for base products I wanted to recommend was the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. So I use this in the shade Light. Again, I actually use this all year round, but I think this really comes into its own in the summer months because it is a concealer serum. It is so juicy, lightweight, glow giving. It's one of the best base products I've ever tried, and I will put this all over my face. I don't just use this as a concealer. Today I am just using it as a concealer because I'm using another base product that I'll mention in a minute, but what I really love to do in the summer, and when I go on holiday, I may just take these two and nothing else for my base, but I love mixing these two together. So the Iconic London Radiance Booster with a little bit of the NYX serum, rub them together in my hands and then just apply them like a tinted moisturizer. The combination of those two products just seems to work so well. The ingredients must just mix really well or something, but it just spreads so nicely over your face and just works, gives you a nice glow and feels really nice and hydrating on the skin. It doesn't feel like you're wearing loads of makeup, which is the thing that I hate feeling like when it's like the hot summer months and you just don't really want to be wearing much on your face. So yeah, had to mention that because it is again a summer staple for me. The other base product I've recently introduced into my routine is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Natural Airbrush Foundation, and this is in the shade Shortbread. I do have it in the shade Cashew as well, which is slightly lighter, but in the summer months I've been finding Shortbread works really well, so it's 200B. I'm actually wearing this today mixed with the Iconic London Radiance Booster, and I actually prefer, I think, to wear this on its own rather than mixed with something else, just because I find that, like today for example, I found it was quite hard to blend. I feel like the two products just don't quite mix and sit well with each other, so they kind of like separate a little bit, or it's just like, it's not like going into the skin and blending nicely, it's sort of sitting on top of the skin a bit. I did get there with it, and I have been using it quite regularly mixed with the Iconic London, and it's fine, but I do think the Iconic and the NYX serum mix very, very, very well together, whereas I notice when I'm mixing it with this, it's not quite sitting as nicely. So just something to point out, but I will say that when I use this on its own, I think it's a fantastic foundation, particularly for things like weddings. This is really nice. It gives you enough coverage to just cover everything that you need to and like even out your skin tone, but it has a very natural finish, so it's not going to add loads of glow to your face. It's not mattifying, but it's not glow giving. It's just very, very natural and looks like your real skin. So really been enjoying this. I've been wearing it a lot when I do go to things like weddings or like out for dinner in the evenings, when I just want a little bit more than the kind of light tinted moisturizer look. I like applying it with my fingers and then blending it out with a brush, and then I will just apply like a little bit more where I need a little bit more coverage, almost like spot covering but with the foundation. I really recommend it. I think it's a great foundation. So next I have a couple of bronzers to mention. So the first one is my favorite summer cream bronzer. Again, this is one I've been going back to for years at this point. This is the Saie Sunmelt Bronzer in the shade Light Bronze. I'm wearing this on my face today. I also do have a summer bronze makeup tutorial, which is the video before this. I will link it in the description box if you want to see these products like in action being applied on my face, because a lot of these products I'm mentioning today I do wear in that tutorial. The reason that I really love this is just because it's so easy to blend, and I really love the tone of it on my skin. I think it just works. It just looks so natural. It doesn't look too orange. It doesn't look too dark bronze, you know, like it's a really fine balance, I think, for redheads to like not look too orangey and not look too dark, like you've got a bronzer that is not meant for your skin tone. This is like the perfect tone and shade I found for me, so I'm sure it will work for a lot of other redheads. But yeah, I use it with a big fluffy blending brush. It blends out like a dream. It's really like quite emollient and slippery, which I really love for the summer months, because again, it just feels like you're not wearing anything too heavy and cakey on your face. So again, one that I go back to year after year. And then the other bronzer I wanted to mention was the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer. This is in the shade Luminous Bronze Light. The one I'm actually wearing on my skin today is Diffused Bronze Light. So this one is much more, I'd say, orangey bronzy, and this one is much more kind of cool toned bronzy. But I do wear both of these, and you will see this one in action on my face in my summer bronze tutorial. I'm just wearing this one today because I wanted to see if it looked any different. I think probably to the like untrained eye probably looks quite similar, to be honest, but I do think I personally notice the difference when I wear one or the other. I think this one is really great as like an all year round fail-safe bronzer that's just going to give you a nice kind of all over bronze, but it's going to work really well in the winter months as well. This one only works for me in the summer months because in the winter it really does look too orange, but I think in the summer months this is where it kind of comes into its own. So I am quite glad that I've got both. I am really pleased that I have this because I think especially on like summer evenings when I want to look really tanned and bronze and just like I've been, you know, gallivanting in the sun and the sea and the sand all day, like this is a really great option and it kind of gives me that vibe. But overall, the texture and quality of this bronzer is so good. It is not cheap, I will say that. It's expensive, but I do think you get what you pay for because it's so kind of airbrushed when you blend it out. You really can't go wrong with it. I feel like it's just gonna look good no matter how much you apply with it. With this one, I will say you want to use a nice fluffy blending brush. That's what I always use for my bronzer. Don't like to use very like pointed chisel brushes for my bronzer because I want it to look really nice and diffused. But I think like if you apply it correctly, then you are not going to go wrong with this bronzer. It's absolutely so gorgeous and I do think it's worth the money. I'm sorry, I do. Also, like when you have a pan this size, unless you're like really digging your brush in and wearing it every single day without fail and putting loads on, it's gonna take you a very long time to go through this. So just bear that in mind when you are like spending very high prices on makeup. Sometimes the cost per wear actually does work out quite well. Okay, so moving on to blush. This is by far, and again has been for a few years, my favourite summer blush. So this is the Saie Dew Blush, specifically in the shade Spicy. I'm wearing this on my face today. Again, this is a very kind of bronzy, terracotta, warm blush, and the reason why I like this is because it kind of gives you that sort of sunburnt cheek vibe. And the reason that I love the Dew Blush like from Saie specifically is because I just think they are so easy to blend. They add a really nice glow to your cheek, but it doesn't look too much. I never feel like I have to add like highlighter or anything like that, but I do use a lot of glow giving products on my face anyway. This is enough not to need to add highlight, let's put it that way. And yeah, I just think it's a really beautiful blush and would recommend for anyone who's wanting a kind of classic summer, very like bronze toned blush. Try this, you will love it. So for eye products, I don't wear a lot of eyeshadow. Like you'll probably notice today, I'm not wearing any eyeshadow on my face. I don't love to wear eyeshadow, especially in the summer months, especially like during the day. Like it's just not something I'm doing really anymore. But sometimes I do like to wear a nice little one and done wash of colour on my lids if we are kind of going out for a nice meal or something like that, and I just want to feel a little bit more elevated than my usual everyday look. The eyeshadow that I've been loving for that recently is the Vieve Eye Wand in the shade Camel. So again, I did go into more details about this in my summer bronze makeup tutorial, so check that out if you'd like to see this. But what I really love about this is I will just apply like a tiny bit of it, blend, 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 blend. It basically looks like your eyelids have just had a bit of bronzer applied, and it's such a subtle definition, but it really does make a difference. And it's like that kind of model off duty type of look, like very kind of just slapdash makeup, but I think it looks really nice and just very put together. So yeah, been really loving that for this. I don't go heavy with it though, because it is quite a dark shade for me. And then the final product I wanted to mention is the lip product that I'm wearing today. So to be honest, this is like an all year round staple for me at the moment. This is just the lip product that I just have in my bag at all times and I'll just throw on. It's great because you honestly don't even have to look in a mirror when you're applying it. It's just so easy. So this is the Hourglass, oh god, what are these called? It's like a volumizing lip gloss of some kind, but it's in a stick form, so you twist it up like that. I'm gonna be honest, like I love a bougie feeling lipstick. You do not need to spend this much money on a lipstick. I don't even remember how much it was, but I know it was expensive, and you do not need to spend that. I just love having a bougie feeling lipstick in my handbag to like take out and put on. Like, it's one of life's simple pleasures for me, okay? I just enjoy it. So this one is in the shade Slip, and it's just basically a really, oh no, I just like smushed it onto my hand. Okay, it's getting a bit melty in the heat, I think. It's very hot in here today, if you couldn't tell. I'm like sweating. Basically, the shade is just a very sort of basic neutral pink, but it just looks good. It's one of those that I think would look good on a wide range of skin tones because it is just like a classic, if that makes sense. It's very hydrating on the skin. It's very glossy. It doesn't really add any like tingling sensation, although it does say that it's one of those volumizing lip glosses. I personally don't find that it adds like a load of like tingling. It doesn't even really taste very like mint. Like sometimes those types of products will go really cold on your lips. It doesn't do that to me either. But I just think it's a good like staple shade to have if you're just looking for like one lipstick that you can just have in your bag at all times. That is a great one. And I much prefer a glossy lipstick than a like matte or even satin natural lipstick. So I will always kind of go for a gloss over a lipstick, but this is great because it's both in one. And yeah, just really, really enjoy it and have been wearing it loads. So that is everything for my summer beauty favorites. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please do let me know in the comments what your summer favorite product is. I would love to know. I always love hearing your recommendations and it's great to chat with you in the comments. So yeah, would love to hear from you. Thank you again so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.